We are here today to celebrate the holy matrimony of Chen and Liz. And wow, everyone's so good looking, especially Chen and Liz.
Chen, on our second date, you had planned to serenade me at an open mic night, but instead, we ended up eating tacos on a park bench in the middle of winter. And you said that night that everything was perfectly imperfect, just as we are as humans. In that moment, I didn't quite fall in love with you, but I thought that maybe someday I could. In the midst of all the imperfection, everything felt right with you. It didn't take long after that for me to fall in love with you, but it is by no doing of our own. As someone who has tried to plan almost every aspect of my life to a T, I can honestly say that there is no timing as good as God's timing. God is good and gracious, and you are his gift to me.
Oh, wow. Liz, when I think of you, I think of little miracles. Specifically, I think of winter nights in New York City, the loneliness that came almost as certainly as the cold with the snow. And I think of those seasons of life when the concept of people finding each other was a measured improbability of 1 in 8.5 million. And the proposition of anyone sustaining love in this cold world amounted to nothing less than a little miracle. The same loneliness and improbability is perhaps why one of my favorite thoughts in all of poetry and literature and science is the idea that we ourselves are walking miracles. That this infinitesimally small likelihood of two compatible beings colliding into each other at the right time and the right place becomes even more infinitesimally small when expanded amongst generations and generations and generations. And that these voices that once breathed life and struggle and pain and triumph now seem to amplify through the ages to whisper to us, relax and be well, for you are the result of the love of thousands. I guess what I'm really trying to say with all of this is that you are my little miracle. You are the cure to the loneliness that comes with New York winters. You are the sense of home I come home to. You are goofy. You are smart. You are capable. You are delightfully weird in a hilarious way. You are beautiful. You are loving. You are strongly opinionated and a little too clean. You are thoughtful. You make me feel loved and cared for, and you are infinitely improbable.
I want to encourage you and urge you to hinge your marriage on each other, not just each other, but on God. To hinge your sense of self-worth, your sense of significance, your sense of wholeness, your sense of identity, not on the abundant love that you have for each other, which is awesome and mesmerizing and just wonderful, but on the abundant love that God has for you. Because surely there's going to be days when maybe you don't like each other a whole lot. Maybe you forget certain things, you forget certain dates, you're late and whatnot. You might not feel that great, and you might feel a little bit like the Samaritan woman, rejected and distracted, I don't know. But on those days, I want you to remember that who you are, your value, your worth, and your wholeness is not grounded in each other's words, but it's grounded in what God says of you. It's grounded in this love of a perfectly eligible God, the most supremely eligible person who loves even the Samaritan woman. And he loves you the same and more.
Chen, I vow to love and honor you through trials and triumphs. I promise to cherish and protect you and be your co-navigator through life and also on the road. I pledge to push us to grow together in Christ and in life for all the days of my life, in our life, but yeah. I love you, and I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
I vow before God and our loved ones here today to love you as the miracle you are, to hold and to have you from this day forward, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part, because you're my person and I'm your person.
Chen, do you take Liz as your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Wait, not yet. But yes, that's good. That's great. To live together in holy matrimony, to love her, to honor her, to comfort her, to be faithful to her, to keep her in sickness and in health. Yeah, now it's good.
I do.
All right, Liz, do you take Chen as your lawfully wedded husband, to live together in holy matrimony, to love him, to honor him, to comfort him, to be faithful to him, to keep him in sickness and in health?
I do.
Great. By the power vested in me by the state of Pennsylvania, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, I introduce to you, as husband and wife, Mr. Chen Fu and Mrs. Elizabeth Lee.
About 30 years ago, John and I took our family, immigrated here, and today is the reason why we did that.
Despite, COVID, despite all kinds of barriers, delayed flights, an ocean between Singapore and here, Ivan, all the adversities of life, we thank you so much for being here. It means the world to us. Honestly, when Liz and I kind of walked in for the first time, kind of gazed out at all of you guys from all different walks of life that still hold tremendous meaning to us, it really brought a tear to my eye. And I don't cry normally, which is a lie. I cry at movies all the time.
I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here, from far, from near. Thank you for being here.
I like a couple words: respect, and trust, and compromise for each other. Right? So you need to trust each other, right? And respect each other. This is the most important. And keep God as the center of your marriage.
The most amazing thing happened to him in the NYC is for him to have the opportunity to meet the lovely Liz. We have been waiting for a long time.
She is one of the best listeners you'll ever meet. She's so caring, and she's always giving more than she receives. She's ambitious, accomplished, while staying so humble. So in summary, she's pretty perfect, and I've wondered what kind of guy she would end up with and would deserve her love. The first time I met Chen, I 100% had my overprotective parent hat on. Who is this person that Liz met on Hinge and willingly started a long-distance relationship with, and also seemed a little too good to be true on paper? Doctor? Check. Talented singer? Check. Willing to fly out to see Liz literally all the time? Check. Very suspicious. My husband, Sean, and we were visiting Liz for her birthday, and to my surprise, we actually did quickly bond over good food, good music, board games, a ton of board games, and our love for Liz. Since then, we've traveled together to some of Liz's most favorite places in the world. Chen and I have jammed together. We secretly worked on his proposal to Liz, which I subsequently spoiled due to a sticky note. To me, he's now more than just the super friendly, super talkative, famous doctor on Time magazine. I'm so glad that we very much become close friends ourselves. I've come to know that Chen has such a big heart and so much love and dedication to his friends and loved ones. He's a ray of sunshine wherever he goes, and I can tell how happy he makes Liz and how much he loves her. When they're together, energy and their happiness is contagious, and you just want to be around more and more of it. I believe the key to a happy marriage is, 1, the wife is always right. It's a classic for a reason. And 2, a happy marriage takes work. Whether that's always prioritizing date nights together, going out of your way to make the other person's day better, or, having tough conversations so that you guys can continue to grow together. It's not going to be a walk in the park, but you'll be glad that you're doing it with each other for the rest of your lives.
So there's many stories I can tell everyone about Chen tonight, like the time he crashed a U-Haul into a wall. Or the time he somehow accidentally drove to Mexico. But we figured we'd try to keep the speech relatively short, so we just tell you about what it's like to actually live with Chen. It sounds like you guys might know about this already, but... So to put it mildly, Chen is by far the messiest person I know. Liz, I know you travel a lot for work, but for your sake, please keep an eye on Chen. Do not let him revert back to his old ways. Otherwise, one day when you come home, you also may be greeted by a rotting banana on top of a cardboard box. Having said all of that, Chen is an amazing person. And an absolute catch.
I've known Chen for most of my life, from his days as a naive high school student to optimistic and bright-eyed college student, to anxious and stressed-out med student, finally to overworked and slightly jaded doctor. I've had the privilege of being part of his journey over these past 18 years, and also a part of his romantic endeavors, his search for his one true love. I still remember the times when, after some heartbreak or a bad date, Chen would come to me and tell me that he wished I was a woman so that he... Yeah. Yeah. So that he can marry me. Not to worry, Liz. He hasn't said that for a while now, and not since he met you. And I keep hearing about how Chen misses California and how he thinks California is his true home. I see that for Chen, home is wherever you are. So from the moment I knew him, Chen has been the most kindest, most compassionate, and endlessly optimistic person. Suffice it to say, Chen is one of the most caring people I've ever met. And this is how I know that, without a doubt, he'll be a great father, a great husband, and that he's a perfect fit for Liz, who is so beautiful, capable, kind-hearted, just a good-natured person.
Chen, as I have recently learned, you are slightly intimidated by me. That said, you are right to be a little scared. I have high expectations for anyone who wants to date my sister, let alone marry her. So I don't have any funny anecdotes about you. And, and any stories I have are probably mildly incriminating. Like the complete lack of foresight when it comes to buying winter clothes or clothes in general. Randomly licking my sister. Yeah. And your stubbornness against getting the ring resized despite it being stupidly loose.
Oh, you got it resized.
Yeah, I know. And as official sibling ambassador for my sister, I will instead impart some advice and expectations. The first time my sister and I had any semblance of an argument was on our trip to Japan in 2019. I was frustrated by the monotony of climbing stairs and seeing temples. And getting lost given my sister's impeccable navigation abilities. Better than Chen's, this is true. He could not find our car in the CVS parking lot. So, let it be said,
that the record to beat is 20 years of not arguing. Currently, I think you are bound to fail. But as I have repeatedly learned in my education and psychology classes, if you have a growth mindset, you might just stand a chance. Here's to the both of you. May your future be resplendent and joyous. I know 外婆, 奶奶, and 外公 would be proud.
Chen may not be a normal guy, but the first time I saw Liz and Chen together, it felt very normal, like sand on a beach. The partnership that I see here today is something I want to emulate in my relationship. I look forward to seeing Chen and Liz in their new normal, an ordinary, everyday normal, a happy, adventureful normal, and most importantly, a loving normal. We love you, and we wish you a long, happy life with many children.
The first time I met Liz, she didn't feel like Chen's girlfriend, she felt like a sister. And I think every time I go to Chen and Liz's apartment, it like feels like I'm being taken care of. I want to take a minute to congratulate my parents and Liz's parents on decades of happy marriage. That's not an easy feat. Growing up, we didn't really like send holiday cards every year, or we didn't like all eat dinner together at the same time, but you guys still did it. You guys still raised all three of us and never even asked for thank you. I feel like that's what marriage is. It's not this fairy tale, but it's a partnership between two people who are striving for perfection. I hope you guys are able to experience the happiness that our family has.